Hi everyone, my name is Victor Asuncion. I am the President and CEO of Nsky Solar. So recently, ang dami nagtatanong sa akin regarding yung online monitoring system. Gawa daw ako ng video kung paano i-interpret yung information na nakikita nila sa online monitoring system nila, sa cellphone nila, and sa web browser. So I know and I understand sa sobrang daming information na nakikita nyo doon, there's a lot of misconceptions, there's a lot of misunderstanding. So hopefully this video is going to help you be more knowledgeable and help you answer the questions that you have. So let's get down to the bottom of everything. This is the online monitoring system natin, browser-based if you want to access it on your desktop or PC, laptop. And then meron din tayong online monitoring system that you can access through your iOS, tsaka iOS and smartphones, Android phones, yon. So, it's pretty much the same. Lahat na makikita mo sa cellphone mo, makikita mo rin sa web browser mo. The only reason why we are putting it on the TV para mas madali nyo guys makita yung information na i-discuss natin. How it's presented on your phone is also the same. So, hindi kayo masyado malilito. Let's go to flow graph muna tayo. Yan, flow graph. Basically, yung flow graph I don't want you to get confused sa KW tsaka W, okay? Kilowatt, KW means kilowatt, kilo, K-I-L-O, watt. So, 1,000 of a watt. Not 1,000 of a watt, 1,000, ganito, para mas madaling maintindihan, 1,000 watts is equal to 1 kilowatt, okay? So, pag nakalagay dito, 38.49 kilowatt, so that is 38,490 watts. Paminsan, pag mababa ang reading, lalo na for mga residential, mataas ang reading ng solar power natin, 5 at 6 kilowatt, nakukonfuse yung mga homeowners natin. Titingnan nila, bakit ang baba? Bakit 6 watts lang yung production ng solar panel? Siguro may problema yung solar panels natin. I want to assure you guys, walang problema yung solar power natin. Just be more mindful about the K in between. Ito izo-zoom ko. Ayan, makikita nyo may K, KW. Kung W lang ang nakalagay dyan, 38 watts lang yon. Yung KW, 38W, tsaka ang 38.49W, yung malaki ang difference nun. So please, lalo na yung mga senior citizens natin out there, medyo pagdating pa naman sa app, napakaliit at hindi mo mazuzoom. Napakaliit at hindi mo na-zoom. So nakikita nila, bakit 1 watt lang ang production ng solar panels ko? Please, okay? Alam nyo na. Share nyo yung video na to sa mga ibang nanunood or may nakausap kayo na nag-aalala sa solar nila. Please, maging mindful tayo doon. Another thing, gusto ko lang i-point out ngayon para diretso tayo sa heart sa mga questions sa mga customers natin. Itong gumagalaw na to, so ito, kadulad nito, 4.99 kilowatt power. Nakikita niyo ba? 4.99 kilowatt power pinoproduce ng Meralco. Yun pa rin ang consumption natin kay Meralco. Sabi ng client natin, ang bilis naman ng galaw nung dot. Ang bilis. Ibig sabihin, ang lakas pa rin ng consumption natin kay Meralco. Bakit ang lakas pa rin ng consumption natin kay Meralco? Yung speed ng dot, static. Hindi niya sinisignify ang strength or amount of power na pinoproduce. So do not be confused dyan sa speed ng dot. Tingnan mo to, 38.49 kilowatt, 4.99 kilowatt, pareho lang yung speed niya. Pareho lang yung speed. Do not be confused dyan. The check mark right here signifies na may kuryente si Meralco. Pag nag-X yan, ibig sabihin brown out. So please be mindful dyan sa sa mga data na yan. Ang pinaka-essence ng flow graph natin, yung flow graph natin na yan, makikita natin solar power. Makikita natin yung battery natin. Makikita natin dito yung Meralco. And makikita natin dito ang dalawang to is yung loads natin. Yung UPS is yung uninterrupted power system natin. Hindi yan mawawala ng kuryente pag nag-brown out. Yun yung classification niya, kaya separated siya. Ngayon, ito naman yung pinaka-loads ng buong bahay mo. These are typically your heavy loads. Yung mga mabibigat na hindi mo pwedeng i-load sa inverter dahil may limited capacity lang yung inverter natin eh. For instance, this inverter right here, 50 kilowatt power lang ang capacity niyan. So kung niload natin lahat ng mga heavy loads ng bahay, pag sumipa ang times 3 power surge niyan, ma-overload si inverter. Di ba? So hindi na sa UPS natin, ilalagay natin siya dun sa normal loads natin. The UPS or EPS side or off-grid side of our hybrid inverter is designed only to power your essential loads or critical loads or emergency power system, which is sometimes your lights, your Wi-Fi, yung mga office ng aircon ng mga boss, or yung mga ayaw natin mawawala ng kuryente pag nag-brown out. Yun ang design nito. Sineperate siya. Dito, hindi nag-o-overload based sa load ng system. Hindi nag-o-overload yan. Dito, nag-o-overload ang power. Pag tinaasan natin to by more than 50 kilowatt power, mag-o-overload si inverter. So, malinaw yun ha. Kasi, nagtataka sila, load ko to. Ano yan? Oh, na-explain ko na kung bakit yung difference. Dito tayo sa battery naman. Yung battery naman is yung storage natin. Sorry, naputol. Alright, so let's move on. Na-discuss na natin yung mga loads natin. Let's talk about the battery. What is the battery? Dito sa diagram natin, sa flow graph natin, nakikita natin that the battery is actually storage unit siya. Diyan mo iniimbak lahat ng kuryenteng na charge mo galing sa solar power. Okay? Makikita mo may percentage siya, 16%. Tapos makikita mo, negative value naman siya. Bakit negative value? Mo, pag negative value siya, ang flow ng dot natin is papasok. Anong maa-assume natin dito? Ibig sabihin niya, nag-charge siya. The flow of power from solar panels, magde-decide siya, load first, papaandarin niya muna yung load, and then mag-charge din siya ng battery niya. Remember ha, yung inverter natin ang nagde-decide whether or not mag-charge yung battery o hindi. It's based on two areas. Yung program na nilagay natin sa kanya at syempre yung condition ng environment natin. Mag-charge ba tayo ng battery kung wala naman solar available? Syempre, para sa akin, gusto ko makatipid. Ayokong gumamit ng grid power to charge the battery. So those are some of the factors that are the conditions whether or not mag-charge yung battery natin. But yon, nakikita natin yung flow. Pag may laman ang battery natin at gabi na at wala ng production si solar panels, anong magandang gawin ni battery? Siyempre, yung loads natin, kumukonsumo yan ng kuryente. Ang magandang gawin ni battery is maglabas siya ngayon ng power para ma-power natin yung loads natin. So, yun yung kagandahan sa battery natin. Number 1, napoprogram natin kung kailan natin siya gustong mag-discharge. Number 2, pwede natin siyang i-program kung gusto natin siya mag-charge. At napoprogram din natin kung ano yung gusto natin na mag-charge sa kanya, whether it's grid, a genset, or solar panels. Yun ang magandang tatandaan nyo dito. Again, for the details, negative value siya if it's charging. Pag positive value siya, it means it's discharging. Kasi dinadagdag natin yung power na yon to offset yung loads natin. Very, very clear. Okay. So, galing na tayo sa loads, solar panels, na-discuss na rin natin. And ito, ano naman to? Ito, mukha siyang, alam mo yung mga poste na malalaki na nagtatransmit ng kuryente, yun ang itsura niya, which is, that is correct. Ito ang grid natin. Kaya yun ang diagram niya is because yan ang grid, ang electrical grid, Philippine electrical grid natin. Kumukuha tayo ng kuryente from Meralco. Sa madaling salita, yan si distribution utility natin. So, nakikita natin na kumukonsumo tayo ng 4.99 kilowatts na lang from the grid. Ang baba na as compared to yung loads natin. Look at our loads. 32.48 plus 6.24. So, that is almost 40 kilowatt power. Oh, almost 40 kilowatt power ang kinukonsume natin. But ang nanggagaling kay grid ay 5 kilowatt power lang. Ang laki ng natitipid natin, di ba? So that is how we will be able to interpret our flow graph. Mapapansin nyo guys ha, again, look at the speed of the dot. It is the same. Whether malakas charging or discharging, it's the same yung speed niya. So, do not be confused. Yun ang makikita natin dito. This, kailangan mo siyang i-refresh so that makuha mo yung bagong details again. Once na ni-refresh mo siya, makikita mo, tinan mo, tumaas yung charging speed natin dito. Nakaset dito sa ating inverter is to power the loads first as much as possible before charging the battery. Pwede mo rin iset siya na charge the battery first before you power the loads. Pero syempre, ang goal natin is to save money. So, target muna natin yung loads bago tayo mag-charge sa battery. So, this is a clear example. So, that's your flow graph. If may questions kayo regarding the flow graph, please comment down below. Pwede mo siyang hiwa-hiwalayin din per inverter, but there's only one inverter here, so it doesn't matter. Punta ka lang sa plant data, isa-summarize niya lahat ng information of all the inverters, nandito na sa diagram na to. Let's move forward. Dito naman, zoom out muna tayo. Dito naman sa center area, kaya pinalagay ko dito yan sa gitna is because syempre, ang pinaka-importante para sa atin is magkano na ba talaga yung natitipid ko? 'Di ba? Kasi sa huli, pera-pera lang naman talaga. Hindi, joke lang. Syempre, importante yun. Kaya nga tayo nagpakabit ng solar, 'di ba? Is because yung savings natin, kailangan natin makita. So ngayon, total earnings natin, makikita mo dyan, 540,713. Magkakaroon ka ng basis. Kung ginastos ko dito sa solar ko is 5 million, naka 500,000 na ako, edi ilan na lang yung years na kailangan ko para mabawi yung system ko. Yesterday, makikita mo per day, makikita mo kahapon, magkano yung natipid ko? 3,813 pesos for the day. Ang laki na nun. Para sa akin wala kang ginagawa, solar mo umaandar, 3,800 pesos per day. Sus, sahod na yan ng isang tao, di ba? Month to date, per month, 51,367. Year to date, 488,000. So for this year, 488. So we can assume na nakabit lang yan recently, this year lang, 488,628.32 pesos. Yun ang makikita natin na details dito. Ito yung total earnings simula nang umandar yung system natin. Okay? And a small portion on the bottom is yung carbon dioxide displacement natin. Instead of using oil or diesel or coal-powered sources, since renewable sources na ginamit natin, we've offset 28.19 tons of carbon dioxide. Ang laki na ng natulong natin sa environment natin. Diba? So that's also a factor that you need to consider. Napakalaking bagay nun, especially nowadays where global warming is nafe-feel na natin. Come on, ngayong summer, sobrang init, it's constant. Ganyan lang mangyayari constantly. So, it's good that solar companies now are taking a look at those factors. Dito, makikita naman natin, energy factor naman ang tinitingnan natin dito. So, mais ka. 37.09 megawatt hour na ang na-produce nitong installation na to since it was commissioned. Accumulative consumption, makikita rin natin kung magkano na yung accumulative na na-consume niya, 55.13. So, grabe. Almost 30% na lang ang consumption niya as compared to before. Di ba? Galing. Ang laki ng savings. Ang laki ng savings. Makikita natin ngayon yung daily production data natin and at the same time yung weather. Ngayon, why does the weather, why is it important? 33 degrees Celsius tayo today. Okay? Yung pinaka-atmospheric temperature natin. Believe it or not, yung aircon natin, it works on the temperature principle din eh. Kung magpapalamig ka ng bagay na nanggaling na sa 27, 28 degrees Celsius, mas madali na yung lakbay niya from 27 to 22 kung saan mo sinet yung aircon mo. So, it's gonna work easier. Mas madali yung trabaho niyang mapalamig. 'Di ba? Kesa kung 33 degrees Celsius yung temperature natin, your aircon has to work 3 times as hard para palamigin yung atmosphere mo. It's going to consume more electricity. It's going to produce more heat in order for you to cool the temperature from 33 degrees Celsius down to its comfortable 22 degrees Celsius, 'di ba? So that's a major factor. Hindi ko alam yung exact conversion rate na for every degree na pag-increase, ito yung amount of electricity you have to consume. That's something that I'd like to study and do in the future. Maybe I'll make a video about it. But meron ganun, may ganun yon. Every engineer out there and every scientist and every person out there who has common sense will know na kung painit ng painit yung panahon, the harder it is for your aircon to work. It's plain common sense, di ba? That's also one of the reasons why mapapansin mo naturally sa electric bill natin, pag summer season, ano nangyayari? Spike, tataas ng sobra yung consumption. Kasi init na init tayo eh. Yung ref mo, it's harder for him to work din. Electric fan mo, hirap na din siya magtrabaho kasi init na init siya eh. Kung ikaw naiinitan, din yung electric fan mo. 'Di ba? Lahat, kahit cellphone mo, itong camera ko, kung hindi ako nag-on ng aircon, nag-shutdown siya because over temperature, because the temperature is just really hot. Okay? This also affects yung consumption natin, and it also affects sa bottom part natin, sa end of all natin, na magkano yung bill ko at the end of the day. Papansin mo, ang taas. Ba't ang taas ng bill ko ngayon? Kahit naka-solar na ako, ang taas pa rin ng bill ko. Well, of course, you're using more power. You're using more power. The solar panels now, naman, it is producing more power. But at the same time, use of power, those are factors that you also have to count and consider. That's why we added the weather factor into our online monitoring system. Alright, sige, let's go back. Now, if we're going to zoom out, again, may makakakita ka ngayon, power profile. Okay? Yung power profile natin ngayon, syempre, meron ako mga kilalang addict talaga sa solar. Marami dyan. Mga addict. Meron akong kilalang mga addict sa solar na as in, nagkakape sa harap ng inverter, pinapanood niya lang kung gaano lakas yung production ng solar niya. Yung battery niya, alam mo yun, binabantayan niya, nakayakap siya sa battery niya, like battery ko, dito yung battery ko, pinakapa. Buong araw ginagawa. Ganon ako eh. But anyways, ang point ko is, yung chart na to ginawa natin kasi eventually magsasawa ka kakakapa, kakanood, kakapindot, kakatingting sa solar energy system. You're going to want historical data recorded. So yung historical data recording mo, nandito na siya, naka-chart form siya through time. So ito yung time axis natin pag ganun. 24 hours yan. Tapos yung pataas naman natin is power. So paano natin malalaman? Hindi ko naman pwedeng pagbasdan lang yan the whole day kung gaano kataas ang pinaka-maximum production mo. Siyempre hindi. So ang gagawin mo is titingnan mo yung chart. Okay? Tignan mo to. Gusto natin makita ano yung pinaka-maximum production ng solar panels natin. Okay? Tanggalin natin itong mga to. Ito yung maximum. Pa-12 pa lang tayo. Siguro nandito yan. So 50 kilowatt. Right now, sa recorded data natin, 43.38 kilowatt ang maximum production ng solar panels natin. This is a 50 kilowatt power solar energy system. So what can we say? We're highly efficient. Sobrang efficient ang system natin. 'Di ba? Because it says it, 43.38. Dito pa lang 10:35 a.m. 43.38 divided by 50 kilowatt power. That is an 86%. Hindi at this time, 10:35. Later at 12, baka tumaas pa yun ng unti. We might hit 92%, di ba? So, ang ganda ng efficiency natin sa ano na to. Diyan mo makikita, syempre, I don't need to wait there the whole day to check kung ano yung maximum production ng solar energy system. The graph chart will show us. Ngayon, gusto ko makita, ano yung pinakamataas na consumption nitong client natin na to? Okay. Consumption, tanggalin natin. Maximum consumption niya dito. Ito yung highest point. 39 kilowatt power. What can we assume? Ang lakas ng consumption ni client. Ang lakas ng consumption niya. Siguro manufacturing to kasi mapapansin mo, 8 a.m. biglang hahataw. So nagma-manufacture siya ng something. So the solar really works for him. It's really good. I love it. Ang sarap panuorin yung mga ganito na ang tataas ng data din. Now, ang question natin ngayon, lakas ng consumption ni client kumusta na kaya yung battery nito? Yung state of charge ng battery niya? Full charge niya pa kaya yung battery? Ganito lang kasimple, oh. Boom. Battery. Charging and discharging rate niya, makikita natin. Dito lang siya nag-charge, 25.52 kilowatt, nag-charge at 8. Sumikat na kasi yung araw, pero hindi pa nila pinapaandar yung mga machines nila. Kaya 25.52 kilowatt nag-charge. Ay, nag-discharge. Ito yung charge ngayon. So, basically, pina-under na siguro yung mga machines kaya nag-discharge na yung power. And then dito naman, siguro malakas-lakas na yung araw, nag-charge na siya ng 9 kilowatt, mababa na lang yung charges niya. Dito nag-charge, sumikat na yung araw dito, pero wala pang consumption, so charge muna siya. And then kinonsumo din kagad dito. I can safely assume na nahihirapan yung battery mag-charge because ang lakas ng consumption nila. Okay, tingnan natin yung state of charge ng battery. State of charge, hindi man lang umakyat ng 25%. Ayan oh. Ngayon, gusto ko malaman, lagi ba to? Everyday ba tong ganito? I'll go back to the dates. Almost. Pinaka-highest niya na dito is 29. Almost every day oh. How about the day before ito? Ito, anong araw to? 15. Ano ba nung 15? Tingnan natin, medyo nag-change yung profile niya eh. 15. Monday. Ganun din. Tingnan natin Sunday. Bakit? Bakit kaya nag-100% yung battery natin, guys? Bakit kaya Sunday, excuse me, anong meron sa Sunday? God's day. So, bawal magtrabaho. You go to church, you rest, you relax. Okay? By the way, you know, God said, on the 7th day, God rested when He created the heavens and the earth. Anyways, so yun, walang work. All of the electricity was produced and stored in the battery for nighttime consumption. Gusto natin malaman, ano kaya yung load na nagko-consume doon? Di ba? Ano kaya yun? Grid power consumption. Yan. Anong wattage kaya yung nagko-consume dyan? Ayan kilowatt, 4 kilowatt, tapos tumaas dito, 7, may nag-on siguro ng heater or something, ganyan. Yung 60 kilowatt power battery natin na discharge siya with a average of a 7 kilowatt power load. Yun. Ang ganda. At the end pa, with all the data gathered, collected, you can export all that data into an Excel file sheet. So, it's amazing, guys. Alright. Kung may questions kayo regarding the power profile, please don't hesitate, comment down below and we will get onto your questions. The next one now is yung generation and usage history natin. Generation and usage history. Punta tayo sa generation and usage history. Okay. Kanina, ang nakita natin is yung real time per day. Per day. Every day, real time, the data for the day. Now, gusto natin ngayon ma-summarize is, we want to be able to summarize, how about the month? How about the year? How about this and that? Diba? Gusto natin, kung iisa-isahin mo yun per day, medyo mahaba, baka mamuti yung buhok natin. Matagal. So, generation and usage history now breaks it down in a period of time. So, for this month, titingnan natin, for the month, daily production natin, makikita natin kung gaano kalakas yung daily production natin as compared to yung purchased electricity natin, yung charge electricity. Tignan mo yung charge ratings natin, ang bababa. Every Sunday lang siya mataas. Every Sunday lang mataas yung charge data natin because sa Sunday lang siya nakakapag-charge. All of this information is very useful when you're dealing with an energy manager, such as myself, and you're dealing with the engineering department, and you're dealing with the CEO and the management, because we can make decisions together. Baka may mga pwede kang i-manufacture, sir, na hindi kailangan ng tao. Or baka pwedeng may shift of people ka na pwede mong papasukin on Sunday para ma-utilize natin yung power on Sunday. Those are decisions that we can make as the business people in order for us to be able to increase our efficiency. At the end of the day, yun lang naman yun eh. Kung saan tayo mag-i-increase ng efficiency, kikita pa ng a little bit, di ba? Because these things, through time, 10 years, it matters so much. It's difference of 100 millions of pesos, if you know what I mean. Especially if you're in manufacturing, di ba? Offices and all those things, sobrang laking factor niyan, di ba? Alright. So, mabi-breakdown natin. Not only will you be able to look at it per day in a month perspective, but you can also look at it in a year perspective. Okay? So, yun. Year. Come on. Year. Come on, brother. 2005. Tingnan natin. 2025. Yun. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 2026. So, makikita mo, tanggalin natin yung all the other details. Let's just take a look at the production ng solar panels natin. January, February, March, April, May. Anong na-notice natin? What did we notice? That slight incline of power production because we're the summer season. Anong makikita natin sa Burr months natin? Because tag-ulan na, medyo bababa siya. Let's take a look at last year. Baka may data siya last year. Data from last year, well, 10 was probably the day it was installed. 11 was probably still partially solar powered. And then 12, iyan na yung fully na yung solar energy system. So we're looking at a little less than 4 megawatt hour. Let's take a look at yung 2026 natin. Ang taas na dito oh. Isipin mo, a little less than 4 megawatt hour Nandito yung December reading natin, nandyan. Ang laki ng tinalon niya 40%, almost yung increase. Almost 40%, hindi lang, 4. Yeah, 40-50% increase of power production on the highest January, February, March, April, May kasi ang highest April, May, ayan boom. Tingnan natin, parang nag-shift na nga Parang nag-shift na, parang April, May na ata ang highest point Kasi from our historical data, April used to be the highest production of solar power in the year. And now I think our data is showing na it's turning into April, May. So parang naniniwala din ako nagkakaroon ng tectonic shift, chuchu, na nangyayari. Yeah. So baka mamaya eventually mag-snow din dito sa Pilipinas, di natin alam. Baka yung separation of yung mga continental plates natin mag-reform ang pabalik. Tapos bumalik na ulit yung mga dinosaurs. Tapos ngayon parang we're gonna be living in the Jurassic Park world na. Pero for sure mangyayari muna yung Terminator before that happens. Kasi AI is taking over. So, Terminator muna and then eventually Jurassic Park. Pero malayo pa yon. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Okay, so now nakita natin January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Nakita natin yung year perspective. And then we can also take a look at the total. So, per year, if we have a power plant that is 8 years already, which we do, ito lang yung pinakita ko sa inyo guys kasi this is one of our newest. 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, makikita mo how you progress. Yun mo rin makikita yung degradation ng solar panels mo, if there are any. But so far, sa nakikita namin, the degradation is so minuscule. After you clean the solar panels, almost, it's performing as if it was installed yesterday. Yun nga yung term ko I'm going to trademark that term. It is as if you installed it yesterday. Wonderful. Okay. So, there you go. Meron pa palang part dito, hindi ko pa na-discuss. Yung generation and usage history natin, you can click solar and utilization. It'll give you guys a pie chart naman. Ang pie chart naman natin, it breaks down where you're getting your electricity. Para alam mo na kung saan. Tingnan mo to, 49% PV. Hindi, di ba kanina when we were discussing power production and consumption, masasabi natin na parang, 40% na ang savings niya. 40 to 50%. Ayan it also justifies what is stated here. 49% is coming from PV. 14% is coming from the discharge of the batteries. So we're looking at around 60%. And then 37% na lang yung imported galing from distribution utility. So we break that down as well. And that's the most important part kasi kung nakikita mo, majority pa rin ang gagaling sa import. It's either you have to add more solar panels, add more batteries, ganun na factor. But again, you're with the constraint of stuck with the constraint of how much space do you have on your roof. Baka punong-puno na yung bubong mo. Ayan. And then here, makikita mo consumption and yung charge of your PV of our 49% or 27.16 megawatt hour. Ano yung consumption dyan? And ano yung charge? Ano pa? 27.16 plus 7.68. 37.1. Ano dun yung charge and ano dun yung kinonsume mo directly. Directly ko kinonsume, tapos yung charge naman is chinarge ko sa battery at kinonsume ko mamayang gabi. So, yan yung production values natin. Ayun. Zoom out. Again, you have it all in the palm of your hands through the app. The same presentation on your app, ganun lang din. Alright, so let's click refresh lang before we go. Finish our video. Ayan. Unclick this para magkita yung ano. So, ayun, 17%. Because we're charging at a higher rate na ngayon, 14.19 kilowatt. Nag 17% na tayo as compared to earlier, I think it was at 15%. And we're still consuming around 4.45 kilowatt power dun sa grid natin. Remember, I just want to point out, residential installations, usually yung value na makikita nyo dito is 0 kilowatt or 0 watts, okay? That's good. You will not be able to perfect it. The system is not super 100% perfect na zero yan forever from here on out throughout the end of time. Kung gusto mong mangyari yung zero yon forever, my suggestion for you is to turn off your main breaker na if your whole house is connected under the EPS or the UPS or the emergency loads or the off-grid output. Iba-iba yan per inverter. Okay. So ngayon, you can turn that off para completely wala kang kinukuhang kuryente from the DU. But if it's connected because you have loads on your normal connection, yung CT sensor natin only responds to yung galaw natin. So for example nagpainit ako ng kape. Inon ko yung kettle ko. At yung kettle ko nag-consume ng 3,000 watts. The moment na natapos na yung kettle ko at nag-off siya, it will take time for our inverter to detect na nawala na yung loads. So it should reflect properly na mag-stop ang production ng solar panels natin. Hindi yun nangyayaring instant. Nare-read ng mind ng inverter yung kettle na mamamatay na yung patay. Hindi ganon. Hindi ganon. Walang ganon. Ang nangyayari, mamamatay muna yung kettle, itse-sense ng inverter, may loads pa ba? Ay, wala nang loads. O sige, I'm gonna tone down my production of solar power na. So, anong ibig sabihin doon? Hindi natin mawa 100% yung export. Kasi concern ng client yan, bakit kumukuha pa rin ako from the grid? Bakit nag-export pa rin ako? Hindi yan magiging 100%. But, mapapansin mo sa sa consumption natin, nagmumukha siyang straight line. May mga onting lubak, ganon. Onting lubak. Yun yung mga loads natin na hindi natin na-anticipate ng inverter. Another term na narinig ko online was yung leakage current natin. Ayan. So anyways, point is, ganun na nangyayari sa solar energy system natin. If you are seeing it, please don't worry. Huwag kayo mag-alala. It's normal. It's 100% fine. Okay. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're interested to know more about solar, please like and subscribe in my video, in my channel. Andito ako lagi. I know it's been a long time since I've created a video, but this one was a little urgent because our clients were really asking about how do we interpret our online monitoring system. So I hope this video helps a lot. If you have any other questions, you can comment down below, and I'll see you in another video, guys. Have a nice day ahead.